Good morning. Welcome to our Library Research Kickoff mini lesson for Mr. White's 9th grade English Mythology project. In this mini lesson, we're going to show you today how to find the research guide that we've created for you. We're going to show you how to use the resources on the guide to find online text of myths, legends, folklore, and hero stories. And last but not least, you'll learn how to email me, Miss Hamilton, your media specialist, for assistance if needed. Let's get started. To get to the research guides, you'll begin with the Chattahoochee High School homepage. Please scroll down to the Breaking News section and in the left column, select New Media Center homepage. When prompted, press Continue, and this will take you to our primary website, the Hooch Learning Studio. This website doubles as an informational landing space for all things happening in the Media Center, as well as policies and procedures that you might need to know, as well as our Media Center blog. To get to our research guides, you can get to them in one of two ways. You can go to the row of links under Library Resources and select Research Guides at LibGuides. You can also go to the menu bar at the top and go to the page and click on the link beneath the screenshot. LibGuides is our other web publishing platform that is designed to help us support you, our teachers and students, with your research or project-based learning activities. To get to your guide, you're going to look in the left column under Current Research Guides and Projects, and we've bumped you guys all the way up to number 1. So go ahead and select that first link, Myth, Story, and Culture. And this will take you to everything that you're going to need for the next couple of weeks as you work on your annotated bibliography project. We're going to focus on the first 2 pages today. We'll get to the other resources over the next 10 days or so. First of all, on the home page, we have our assignment information and assignment calendar. So if you misplace or don't have your hard copy of the guidelines and calendar and deadlines and work checks available, we've reproduced all of that online for you. Secondly, from the home page, if you need to contact me, Miss Hamilton, for assistance, you can always go to the email and let me know what you might need help with if it's after school hours. The page that we're going to dwell in the next few days is the second page called Get Started, Sources for Reading Myths, Legends, Folktales, and Hero Stories. We've got a great selection of places for you to look, so let me give you a quick introduction to navigating these. One helpful navigation tip, because right-click is disabled here on campus, boo, you might want to copy that link and just paste it into another tab for whatever browser you're using on campus, whether it's Internet Explorer or if you want to install Chrome and run that, that's totally cool. But because right-click's disabled, sometimes students have a problem navigating around because they can't right-click on links and keep a static page that they're working off of open. So you just might want to copy and paste that link, open another tab so that if you need to get back to this page, then you have it handy. We're going to start with the Folklore and Mythology Electronics text page. This is authored by a retired professor at the University of Pittsburgh. So we're just going to look beneath the screenshot and open that page. And you can learn a little bit more about him. It's always good to check out the author information so you make sure that they have some credibility to be an expert on that topic and to publish. So we can learn a little bit more about him here. If we go back to the main page, you can navigate the electronic text that he has published. And they are grouped alphabetically, either by story types. So these involve aliens here under A. Others might have to do a little bit more with stories and legends and myths from a particular culture, country, or ethnic group. So again, you can use the letters to navigate those stories. And when you see something that you want to use, you can click on it. He always begins by letting you know where the stories came from. He has a table of contents, and then you can go through and navigate and read those stories. So that's one resource that you might want to utilize. The next resource that I think will be super helpful for most everyone is Google Books. And this is a special search engine in Google that takes you to their digitized online collection of books. Several years ago, Google undertook a massive book digitization project, and what this allows us to do as users is to view parts of a book online, or sometimes even read an entire book online. So we're going to use the search tool here, and I'm going to look for Egyptian myths, and you will get roughly 20 results per page. Any result that has the word preview underneath the link to the ebook lets you know that you can see at least part of that book online. How much or what percentage of the book is available really varies from title to title, and unfortunately Google doesn't reveal up front when you're previewing the book what percentage of the book is available. As a general rule of thumb, older books typically have more pages available for you to view. Newer books will have a little bit less. So you can go through, and when you see something that looks like it's of interest to you, then you can click on that, whichever selection that you want to make. So I'm going to go with this one. And when you go into previewing the book, you can then use the menu or toolbar at the top to navigate the book. So on the far right side, you can view the table of contents. Sometimes you'll get a really good description here. Other times it may be a little bit more general, but you can jump to sections to see what's available. You can also use the arrows to go back and forth between the pages. So this looks like this would probably be a good choice for me. You also have the ability to get the hyperlink to that ebook. So if you want to email the link to yourself, then you can go back and access that quickly by throwing that in an email. You can also, if you're signed into your Google account, add it to a bookshelf so that you can then go through and view it in your personal Google library if you want to do that. There is also an advanced book search that you can use if you want to narrow your results a little bit more. But most of us probably won't need that since a general search will get you, for the most part, what we're looking for this particular project. You can view the book in two-page mode. So sometimes, depending again on what's available, you might only see one page for a couple of mouse clicks through the book, and then once we get into the pages, then it goes into normal view. So sometimes that makes it easy to read. You can also magnify or zoom back out if you need to do that to view the book. The primary drawback to Google Books is that most of them are available only online, so you can't download or print sections of the book. However, if you capture the link to it, then it's usually really easy just for you to go through and read these online. Google Books is probably going to be the place where most of you find the myths and legends and hero stories that you're going to want to use for this project. So definitely be sure to check out Google Books. And then to get back to your results, you can hit the back arrow and continue browsing additional books and results. So Google Books, I think, will be super helpful for most of you. Another resource that many of you might find helpful and that's super easy to navigate is an online untext book for a mythology and folklore course that's taught at the University of Oklahoma. So we'll just go to this tab and click beneath the screenshot, and you'll want to scroll down to see the reading units. So you can see if what you're interested in is available. Here's the unit on Egyptian myths, and I can go through and look at the overview of the unit, and then I can go through and see what myths and stories that I want to read. So again, it's not super fancy, but it's actually a really, really great online textbook, and a lot of you might find this easy to navigate and use. And of course, you could copy and paste the sections into a Google document or Microsoft Word, and then paste those and print them if you feel like you need a hard copy to read. So that's the untext book. Another resource that many of you might enjoy is Project Gutenberg. This is a collection of over 50,000 free ebooks that are available to everyone at no charge. And again, depending on what you're looking for, you might find a lot, you might not find very much. But what's cool about Project Gutenberg is that the ebooks are available to read in a variety of formats. So I'm going to go in and search for Egyptian myths. And according to my results, it looks like there are only 4. Even though there are only 4 results, it still may be that there's one in here that will be super helpful. So this one initially looks kind of interesting to me, but it's in Dutch and I can't read Dutch, so I'm going to bypass that one. But this looks like this could be good, the student's mythology. So as I mentioned earlier, you can read this in a variety of formats, including Kindle edition if you have that app or your own Kindle device. I'm just going to go, though, with the plain text, the HTML, and you can get a little bit of information about this book. And then you can scroll down and browse the chapters and see what might be available. So lots of good stuff that could be of interest to me in this. If you see that there's a long table of contents, one tool that you might want to use is Control F. And you can use this to search for keywords within that text. So if I want to look for Egypt, to navigate that table of contents, then right away here's going to be a whole section, and there will be something in here about the statue of the Sphinx in Egypt. And I could continue scrolling and scanning, but I'm going to go ahead and jump to that section, and then I could go through and read about the Sphinx when I get down to that. And now here is my section where I could go and learn a little bit about that. So for some of you, Project Gutenberg might be a good choice. Last but not least is a similar tool called the HalfTrust Digital Library. So I'm going to open that up. And again, you can go in and search by myths here for what you're looking for. And as you go through and browse the results, you can look at the catalog record for publication information, or you can go into the full view of that. Most of these are older text. You're not going to necessarily see newer things like we did in Google Books. But again, for some types of stories that you're looking for, this might be super helpful. So right away, I go to the table of contents, and I can view this by clicking next and going through sections. You can also jump to sections here just like you can in Google Books. In closing, we just want to remind you, these are your sources on the research guide to access the myths and legends and hero stories online. All of these are great, but Google Books will probably be the best resource for most of you. We also have a set of print books on reserve on a cart that you'll find when you come to the Media Center, and you're also welcome to use those. If you have any questions, please let me, Ms. Hamilton, know in person, or again, my email is on the research guide, and I'm glad to give you virtual assistance if you're working on this after hours. Thanks so much, and we're looking forward to helping you the next couple of weeks as you move forward with your project.